to, but I think especially Caitlin Clark, she's been killing it. And I'm a huge fan, and I never say that, but I think it's fun what she's doing. When it comes to viewership, man, I think a lot of people have a lot to learn about our league, but I think that's a really fun thing. And if you have really anything negative to say about all the viewership and everything that this rookie class is doing, I just think that you're not capitalizing on it, and you might be a little jealous. So for me, I'm all for it. I'm about it. I love all this stuff.
It was all because to Caitlin Clark that Sophie Cunningham recently made headlines in the WNBA. In addition to thanking Clark, she is also expressing appreciation for the league's improved visibility. However, the wider picture, this is more than just recognition. It's a symbol of a significant change taking place in Indiana.
Wow, wow, wow. The Indiana Fever have traded Melissa Smith and got Sophie Cunningham in a three-way trade. And boy, do I want to talk about it.
Some players are not aligned with the Indiana Fever's ambitious strategies. According to sources, off-court problems may have contributed to Nalisa Smith's absence. After a tense season, she and Dejanay Carrington are now traveling to Dallas. Indiana, meantime, is working to create something unique that is based on respect and cooperation. The big moment has finally arrived. Sophie Cunningham has been open about her desire to perform with Caitlin Clark. This might influence the Fever's strategy. Let's dissect everything.
Why does everybody hate Caitlin Clark? And do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Absolutely not. I think that she's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan. Like, I would love to play with her one day, for real.
Let's back off a bit. Caitlin Clark has been dominating the court, and Sophie Cunningham hasn't held back while complimenting her abilities. The interesting part, though, is that Sophie wasn't merely a passive admirer of Clark. She was actively keen to collaborate with her. That desire is now a reality.
I think everyone knows she's well known around the world at this point, but I'm going to go with Caitlin Clark is going to be super special.
What do you think Caitlin Clark's impact on the league?
You know what? I think that she's a phenomenal player. She's one of the best college players to come out of college. I do think there's going to be a little bit of growing pains, but she is so dominant and so hardworking that I'm super excited for what she's going to bring to the table.
Do you recall that All-Star Weekend video that went viral? Caitlin Clark was dragged aside by Sophie Cunningham, who said, "Hey, want to come to Phoenix?" Now that Sophie is on her way to Indiana, it appears that fate had other ideas. The excitement is genuine since she recently signed with the Fever.
Sophie Cunningham drunk. Sophie Cunningham was so drunk on All-Star Sunday. And she went straight up and was like, come to Phoenix, come to Phoenix.
Talk about bringing your fantasies to life. What is Sophie's true opinion of Caitlin Clark then? She isn't being reserved. Clark has made a significant contribution to women's basketball and handled the pressure like a pro. According to Sophie, she is prepared to demonstrate it in court though, so this isn't just talk. Sophie is not only joining the Fever but also taking over as Clark's strongest supporter off the court and enforcer on the floor, thanks to her lethal three-point shooting and aggressive defense. Indiana is going to get a major boost from these pair.
I don't know if that happens. And in Sophie Cunningham is, when it comes to Salona Cunningham, they can play the 3, they can play the 4. They can play like a little bit at the 2 maybe. Like when you get these super like versatile players.
Just wait to find out who is leaving the Fever to make way for Sophie if you thought that was a big deal. But let's concentrate on the good for the time being. Fans can't get enough of Sophie Cunningham's unrelenting energy and fearless attitude, which have made her a powerhouse in the WNBA. Do you recall last season when she scored 35 points in one game? She is bringing that sort of firepower to Indiana. The Fever are bringing in a competitor who is prepared to make an impression, not simply a player.
And Sutton forcing that turnover. Oh, nice step through, dropping the rookie. You go, Sophie, go! And here comes Sophie and the Mercury. Cunningham buries the 3.
Can't get it to fall. Cunningham the rebound in traffic. Cunningham from deep.
However, it goes beyond the numbers. Sophie's focus on the squad is something that all coaches adore. She is the type of player who sets hard screens, dives for loose balls, and performs the unsung tasks that don't usually make the highlight reel. Alongside Caitlin Clark, she is now bringing that unrelenting hustle to Indiana. They are creating a team that will undoubtedly cause nightmares for the other team. The Fever are creating a winning, tough, and energetic culture in addition to a roster.
But I do have to say, Sophie Cunningham is a very, very, very interesting one for Indiana.
What's so awesome about all of this? You know, Sophie is fulfilling a lifelong dream rather than merely joining a new team. It's like to seeing a fan take center stage on the show they've always adored. She has expressed openly how much she admires Caitlin Clark and how excited she is about Indiana's future. She is now actively participating in it rather than only watching it happen. Clip 9. Let's now discuss the implications for the Fever. They're bringing in a game changer who will boost the team's energy, not just a good player. Sophie Cunningham is the type of athlete who improves the lives of others around her. She never fails to excite her teammates, provide intensity, and maintain a positive atmosphere in the locker room. She's the spark that can propel Indiana to the next level, whether it's a high five, a supportive remark, or just plain hard work on the court.
Can shoot a little bit, can play some defense, and is a bit of grit. She's probably going to start. She genuinely is probably going to start.
And what do you know? A rising celebrity like Caitlin Clark needs someone who will support her and encourage her to achieve even more. Sophie is enjoying the moment to the fullest, in contrast to Nalisa Smith, who didn't appear overly excited about Clark's arrival. She is here to ensure that Clark and the entire Fever team are given even more attention, not to steal it. Sophie is the kind of teammate Indiana needs to advance because of her enthusiasm, leadership, and team-first approach.
The Indiana Fever are going to probably be one of the they're going to be one of the top teams in the W next year, and they got significantly better. Look, I think Sophie Cunningham is a better fit than whoever they were getting with the 8th pick. I think Sophie Cunningham at this point in time is better than Sonia Citron, who's not going to be there at 8. She's better than Anissa Morrow at this point in time. Potential-wise, sure, but the thing is that the Indiana Fever have been made it very, very clear that they are trying to win while Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark are on rookie contracts, and in order to do that, you have to get the best talent available, and to do that, you had to give up Nalisa Smith.
Sophie is a formidable defender as well, so it's not just about the offense. She will relieve Clark of some of the defensive strain so that she can concentrate on her strengths, which are scoring goals and providing precise assists to her teammates. Clark will have even more energy to dominate on offensively now that Sophie is taking on some of the more demanding defensive duties. Not only is this a smart move for the Fever, but it also strengthens the squad as a whole on both sides of the court.
What is that? What's it might not be from you, but like what is the? I mean, it feels on. It's not hate, but is it jealousy? Is it envy? Is it just like what is it?
Yeah, you know, I see both sides. I'm not an extremist in any way, and so I like to see both sides of each party. I think when you have older people in the league, you know, they work their tails off and they didn't get the recognition. They don't get paid millions of dollars before they even step on the court. You know what I mean? And for them, it's all about, okay, well, what are your stats? What are you doing for the actual game, like while you're playing?
Yeah.
And then for them.
Okay, everyone, while we're all excited about Sophie joining the Fever, there's another shocking announcement. Nalisa Smith has been made public. Indeed, Indiana is making progress, and to be honest, it has taken a while. The interesting part, though, is that Smith isn't going anywhere by himself. The Fever are starting over since she was traded to the same squad as Dejanay Carrington. It's time for a new culture, a new mentality, and a team that is totally focused on winning, as Kelly Kroskoff and the front office made clear. With Sophie Cunningham involved, the Fever are laying the groundwork for something extraordinary as Indiana turns the page.
Now, Sophie Cunningham is a good player. She can shoot the three. She can 3-and-D it. She's pretty good on defense. She's fast. I think the Fever are looking for like the fast pace. I think bringing Sophie over is definitely going to spread the floor a lot more.
Perhaps you're asking yourself, what's the big deal? Although such players are frequently traded, this isn't your typical roster move. Smith's hostility, which was audible through TV displays, hung over the entire team like a gloomy cloud. When it came to Caitlin Clark, the player in question was incapable of even feigning support.
Active hands for BG there. Steal. Cunningham from the corner for a three. She hits it, and she's fouled. A chance to tie this one.
When Caitlin Clark was out there dominating, lighting up the scoreboard and demonstrating her status as the superstar we all know she is, do you recall that moment? When it came to getting her back, guess who was nowhere to be seen? Yes, it's Nalisa Smith. Smith was just there while Clark was giving it her all, just showing up on the court with no enthusiasm, defensive effort, or genuine support. And that kind of mindset just doesn't work in a league where dedication and chemistry are crucial. The Fever are now taking action to assemble a squad that is totally focused on winning after realizing the obvious.
Free from folks. We are free from Nalisa Smith. Nalisa Smith no longer on the Indiana Fever. Kelly Krauskopf came in and said, "Oh, you gotta go."
Let's not even discuss her antics on social media. She will one day be a huge fan of the Fever and represent them with fervor. She's throwing more shade than a beach umbrella the next time. Mixed signals, cryptic posts, and an atmosphere that didn't exactly scream team player made for an endless drama roller coaster. The Fever felt it was time to end this crazy excursion because they had obviously had enough. They're now concentrating on assembling a cohesive, drama-free, and winning team.
Within 2 hours. And guess who was gone? Nalisa Smith is gone.